Hey everyone, welcome back to Low Luxury, the channel where I show you what authentic luxury clothing and streetwear looks like. And today is actually a really interesting one because we are going to be taking a look at a hoodie from the luxury fashion brand Etro. Now, Etro is a really interesting one to me because I have my ups and downs with them. Some of their pieces I really love and they blow me away and I think they're beautiful or really cool, and other times it's just kind of cringy. I mean, sometimes they get into some really weird territory with appropriating like Eastern and native designs and techniques and stuff that's really kind of makes me squirm a little bit. It feels a little weird. But at other times they do just really fine, classic, like Italian pieces, and they've got a very nice, recognizable poppy logo and name and things like that. So I found a great piece from them at a great price, and I couldn't help myself, and I want to show you guys what it's all about. So let's get into it. But first, I've looked into it, and a very small percentage of you are actually subscribed to the channel. It's completely free. Just press that button, and you will not regret it. Thank you so much. And just a little side note before we get going, I always want to be sure that I'm pronouncing these brand names correctly, especially, you know, French, Italian ones, things like that. They can be tough. And I say Etro because that's the closest I can get, because I can't roll my R's actually. So the R is supposed to be rolled like Etro, tr. I can't do it. So I'm going Etro, and it's the closest I can get. Anyway. Oh my god, that is like silky soft. Holy shit. All right, let's see what we got here. Ooh, oh my god, that's nice. All right, there she blows. I love that big bold logo there. You could already tell how impressed I was by the just feel of it right off the bat. But first things first, as we do, we've got to start by taking a look at the retail tags that come with this piece. So it comes with this little folded over booklet here. It's made out of a very smooth feeling cardstock. And you can see it's got this like brown paisley pattern that the brand is really famous for here on the outside. And then you've got this brand badge here, and you can actually feel it. It's like a border, and it does stick out of the tag itself. So you can really feel that there, as well as you can feel the letters. Those are embossed. So there in orange, you've got that Pegaso kind of logo there, the same that we've got right here. And then you've got their brand print, Etro, and you can see it's kind of like scrunched almost. It's not tall at all. And then under that very small, you've got Milano. So it's all in orange, and then much more of like a burgundy, brown, red in the outside of it. The back of that is blank. It just has that paisley print all over it. And when we open it up top, we've got this sticker that should be on every piece. This is the sticker that Etro puts there before they send it off to retailers. So first, we've got the model number. That's very important, and that should match everywhere we see it. Not sure what these numbers are, honestly. That's model or color numbers, things like that. And then size. So take a look. All this stuff, I believe, would be like the Italian abbreviations rather than English. So it shouldn't say like size small. It should be TGLS for small. And obviously these are quite bold, and these are not bold. And you can see the way that they're all centered. It's kind of weird. They're kind of going on a weird angle there. They're not left justified. They're not right justified. They're not centered. It's just kind of odd, the spacing there, but very unique. And then under that, we've got the retailer sticker, so yours may or may not have this, but it's always good to check against the info that was on the other sticker so that 1Y960 number matches up with our model number there. Things like that, always very important. And then these are held together with this like brown woven string here that goes up to this nice little piece of plastic here with that brand print embossed in it. You can feel each letter, and those are colored in that like dark red. And that's the same on both sides of it. Please ignore my blood blister. I hammered my finger, and I'm sorry if that's gross. Ugh, sorry. And then that goes up from there and gets strung right through the top right corner of the brand tag at the back of the neck there. And speaking of which, let's take a look at that brand tag next. So this is your classic kind of like embroidered tag. It is just like an off-white, kind of very light gray color. And then stitched in there in black, you have the Etro brand print there. That font is consistent. And then interestingly next to it, you have the size. So that's small, of course, a little space there, but that's in the same font as the brand logo there and the same size and everything. And then off to the right of that, all caps, quite skinny. It's made to fit in the same height as that brand print itself. You've got made in Italy. You can see this tag is stitched in with a horizontal stitch, the same color as the tag, going up in the top left and top right corners. And if you turn that over, you can see that the tag is kind of folded over at the edges, and you can see the kind of texture to the back of that, and it's got these inverse colors, so it's white on black as opposed to black on white. Another little interesting thing over here, I can't even tell what that says, but there is a tiny bit of like print stitching right there that I just don't know what it's there for, but I do find it interesting, so I thought I would note it. Next, let's take a look at the care tags that are inside the hoodie. So this would be on your left side if you're wearing the hoodie, and you can see that it is really cleanly circle stitched in there in the same color as the hoodie itself, and stitched right into that side seam there. So this is a very kind of silky, soft, fairly thick, kind of polyester plasticky tag, and this is a kind of like dark off-white, very light gray color to the tag itself. And the first thing you get in black, quite small print, is the company information. So Etro, SBA, via whatever, I'm not going to try and say that, Italia, Milano, so on and so forth. Then you get some Japanese information, and Russian it looks like. Then there's a line there, and a bit more Russian, interestingly. And then you get the Made in Italy and a ton of languages there, all center justified, all in caps. And interestingly, going along the left side from top to bottom vertically, you get that model number right there, the 1Y960. Then you get the model name, Felpa Sweatshirt, Sweat-Shirt. Then the EAC, big and bold centered. And then your fabrication. So this one is 92% cotton and 8% polyamide. You can see how they justify that with the percentage off to the left, and then all the languages left justified to the right of them. On the back of that, we get some more Russian up top, and then washing symbols, and then it gets into our care instructions in lots and lots of languages, all caps in this kind of block font, like paragraph format here. So you can go down, you've got all these different instructions in different languages, until you get to the bottom, where interestingly, it actually gives you a production date. I always love when brands do this. I think it's really interesting to know just when this stuff was made. So this one was made in June of 2019, it appears. Very interesting. I love hearing that. All right, now it's time to take a look at all the unique details of this piece. And I think we got to start with that brand print right at the center here in the front. So as you can see, it's that Pegaso logo right there. Very interesting and unique. It's almost got like a hand-painted feel to it with the way it is around the edges there. I also think it's very interesting that the black comes over the top of this blue circular border here. You'd expect the blue to be on top of the black, but it's not. And even more interesting is it looks like they separated each color, because outside of the black, you can see a little just glow of the yellow hoodie poking through. So they didn't print each color on top of each other or anything. They actually did each color separately, it looks like, because you've got these little bits of yellow poking through around the corners of the black. Overall, the print is quite smooth feeling. It's not sticky or tacky or anything, and it's not super heavy, like it doesn't stick out a ton out of the hoodie itself. But it does definitely have a different texture, rougher texture, than the cotton of the hoodie. For the drawstrings at the hood, you get these like gunmetal grommets here, and then you get these, and you can see how they're sewn there. It's quite nice. And those go down to these very heavy metal endings to the drawstrings. There's no branding or anything on them, but they are real metal and they're heavy. The hood has like a solid 1-inch kind of seam allowance there, edge stitching for the drawstring, which is, I'd say, quite a bit larger than most brands do, but I think it gives it a nice look. And then you can see how those meet kind of on top of each other in a sort of V there at the bottom of the neck. I personally really love the shape of this kangaroo pocket. It's got kind of harsher angles than I'd say most brands do, and it's this nice kind of hexagon shape with, again, yeah, these harsher angles. The cuffs and hem are a nice double layer of that same cotton material as the body, and you can see they kind of cinch it in a bit in places, like there's a bit of tightening there. So it gives it a nice tight silhouette both at the wrists and at the waist. The back of the hoodie is left very, very simple and clean. There's no prints or anything there. And underneath the hood at the back of the neck, you can see very subtly those stitches from the brand tag at the back of the neck on the inside. So it's very subtle. If it looks really messy or anything like that, that's not a good sign. Finally, I wanted to look to the inside of the hoodie and show you what that looks like, because it really is like a legit knit on the inside. It's very, very interesting. So you can see the weight that this hoodie has, and it's got an interesting color too, like a kind of almost camo weird texture to it, like digital camo texture of the knit inside, because it's got this kind of the yellow and then a much darker, like dark green or something inside of it as well. So now that we have checked all of that out, let's try this piece on to see how it feels and see how it fits. So first, let's talk about the feel of this thing, because you heard me, the second I took this thing out of the bag, I was super impressed with the feel of it. It is insanely soft. Like, it feels super, super premium, even more premium than other luxury brands hoodies that I've tried. And, you know, the retail price on this is something like $800-900, and I don't think there's really any clothing, or there are very few pieces of clothing out there that are actually worth that much, but I can begin to understand why. It's just so insanely high quality feeling, very expensive feeling. The fit is interesting. It is definitely oversized, especially like the shoulders. They've got a kind of dropped quality to it. The body is very, very kind of wide, and it's an interesting fit, but at the same time, the sleeves aren't too long, and the hem doesn't come down too far. So it's really up to you. Think about whether or not you like that oversized fit or not, because I'm kind of on the fence as to whether I'd suggest you size down or not. So that is how you tell the difference between real and fake Etro clothing. Take a look at the other video on screen here, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I'll see you next time.